This is about how I feel right now. Yep. Okay, first off, full disclosure, since it is a naked truth, I have to say I'm not naked, but at least they're Pikachu pants. Whoa, super nerdy. Um, yeah, that's just because I really wanted to make this particular video unlisted, and I work in a job sector that probably wouldn't be super fond of me making videos of myself naked online. So even if it is something like totally not sexy like this. So yeah, like I said, I really wanted this one to be unlisted because I wanted it to go out to other SourceFed fans. Usually, or excuse me, I wanted it to not be unlisted. Usually when I do Naked Truths, I make them unlisted and they just go to other Naked Truth watchers. So this one I kind of wanted to be able to go to everyone. So SourceFed's cancel. Yeah, the news kind of caught me off guard too. I kind of thought we'll get into that later. Man, I never thought I'd see that day. I thought SourceFed was gonna do great. I thought it was gonna keep keeping on. Man, I'm really gonna miss it. Like it's hard. Monday night I lost sleep over it, which is just crazy. I've talked about it before on Naked Truth. Like, I don't have depression, I don't have anxiety, and I know there's a lot of people in this community that do. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I know so many of you out there. I've seen your comments. I don't interact with you that much personally, but I mean, yeah, wow. Geez, I can only imagine what others are going through. I mean, I know there are people that have said, hey, SourceFed saved my life because I was so down in the dumps and it raised me up. So, like, to those of you out there that are like that, I don't want to get too dark, get too negative, but like, seriously, if there's any of you out there where this is making you so uber sad, please talk to someone, talk to me. I'm introvert. I'm not not the best at giving advice, but like, man, if people need to talk, please talk, please talk. That said, let's get out of the dark. Let's get into the happy. So, I think Trisha's question was, what is your favorite SourceFed memory? And man, I don't know. There's so many. Like there's just so many. I can't even just pull one out of my head. One of the most memorable moments to me was a table talk. It was fantastic. It was like I think it was close. I think it was like in Meg's last week or something. I don't remember exactly, but it was Trish, Meg, and Ross, and there was this question of like, what would you do if the world ended? Um, and the like Ross made his joke, like Trish was like, oh, I would call my family and everyone, and Meg was like, are you kidding me? I'd be going for that rack. And it was hilarious. God, just that moment alone would have made that hilariously memorable. But then Ross just kind of took off with it and was like, okay, guys, we got to figure out how to convince Trisha and Meg that the world is ending. And I was just like, that was great. I mean, of course, there's all the live streams. I remember so many of the live streams that came out at like SourceFed Plays, all the Cards Against Humanity. What is that? A coffee machine? Jeez. And now it's all gone. And it's just, it's weird to me. I wasn't expecting it. Like, I expected this to live on forever. I expected to be able to show my kids, like, hey, look, here's this thing that I followed. Man, oh, I should really talk about, like, when I started following. So, I started following Phil in like 2012, right around this time SourceFed got created. And I remember following him because it was during the election, and elections are always nasty, and he was just this guy that seemed to talk sense. He's like, there are two sides to this, guys. Come on, let's talk. And so I started following Phil, and I didn't start following SourceFed at that time, but he'd always linked to SourceFed videos. And it's really funny. I couldn't, for some reason, I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that like this was a channel that was for lack of a better term, underneath Phil. And let's see if I can keep this from going too long. But it was like a channel that was like, I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that this was a channel that was underneath Phil. I thought he was just like pimping out friends and stuff. And this was back in a time where I wasn't really big into watching stuff on YouTube, so I didn't want to like, I was in that little mode of like, I don't want to like subscribe to too many people, because then it just cascades, and I subscribe to a lot and I'll never be able to watch all the videos. Point of life I'm in right now. But yeah, so I was following Phil, and I don't think I'd even subscribed to him yet. You know, truth be told though, like Phil was one of the first, if not the first YouTuber I subscribed to. He was way in there. He was definitely in my first 5. And so yeah, I held off on subscribing to SourceFed because I didn't want to like run downhill, like fall into this realm of just subscribing to everything and everyone. So yeah, I held off on watching SourceFed, but I'd occasionally pop over. He always linked to them in his videos, and I'd occasionally pop over and watch SourceFed that way. But then he started doing this segment called Nerd Porn. And it wasn't, he didn't do it on his channel, but he did it, it was on SourceFed, and it was kind of a precursor to, kind of like the test, kind of the precursor, the testing the waters, proof of concept of SourceFed Nerd was kind of what I figured later on in life after SourceFed Nerd had actually been created. And I watched it, and I'm like, oh man, like, this is great, this is exactly what I want. And, you know, I have to admit, you know, college boy and 2 really cute nerdy girls, like, oh yeah, this is amazing. And I noticed it went away, and I was like, oh my god. And that might have actually been the right around the time I subscribed to SourceFed, because I saw these people, and I was like, no, it was later. It was later, after SourceFed Nerd was created, that I subscribed to SourceFed. But I was like, what happened? What happened to this nerd porn segment? I loved it. And, you know, like a month later, I you probably find that comment on Phil's videos back then. I was like, a month later or so, he created SourceFed Nerd, and I was like, yes, this is amazing. This is exactly what I want. And from there on, it was just, woo. So I started following SourceFed Nerd, and watching their videos, and it was great. It was exactly the kind of news I wanted. Nerd news, like right down my alley. And I would watch the Table Talks. I watched Table Talk religiously, man. And that's when I saw the other hosts, and I saw Joe and Lee and Elliot, and I'm like, oh my god, these are like, they're amazing. Like, I'd already fallen in love with Trish, Steve, and Meg on the Nerd channel. And I'm like, oh man, they're great. And so that's when I started following SourceFed. So yeah, probably sometime 2013. I'm following SourceFed and SourceFed Nerd, and since then it's just been all the time. You know, I've had my ups and downs with the channel. We all like kind of get these, they talk about it on the channel where they were like, oh, kind of stagnating, so it's good to get fresh blood in, and there were definitely those moments. But just, man, I never thought it, like, seeing everyone grow professionally, seeing Meg over at Rooster Teeth, which is a company I've followed since middle school, seeing, I mean, truth be told, Meg kind of brought me back to Rooster Teeth. Seeing everything Trish is doing, everything Joe's doing, like, other channels that I started following a long time ago before they were over there. Like, I'm so thrilled to see, like, Joe on Ami doing the epic how-tos, and it's just, wow, like, getting to see everything grow, everyone grow. I remember the first time Sam, who was probably my all-time favorite host, I have to say that, seeing Sam on camera the first time, he was like, it was shortly after I'd gotten into Doctor Who, and I just gotten into the 11th Doctor. I binged through 9 and 10 and just gotten into the 11th Doctor, and they brought Sam on camera for, it was a nerd com or something, and they're like, hey guys, we just gotta show you Sam, or, I mean, it may have even been a Doctor Who TV show back when the TV show was still a thing. Um, and the first time they brought Sam on camera, and he was a dead ringer for like an American version of the 11th Doctor, and it was just adorable and amazing. And so getting to see him grow was cool. I remember Anime Club. It seemed like I forget if it was an episode Ross missed or Meg missed, but like bringing Reina in, and I'm like, oh my god, here's this adorable little Asian girl. This is amazing. And seeing Will grow, he gets his own channel. It's amazing, and just wow. And then even recently, the new ones. Like I said, I had my ups and downs with SourceFed, and recently I was in a down, but I was just getting to the point. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to come back to you guys and give you guys love, because you've given me so much entertainment, and you got new hosts here, and they deserve that chance from me to shine. And SourceFed Nerd, you had Philip and Whitney came in, and they were dead ringers from the beginning. Mod and Smod, that was man, I'm gonna miss it. Like that's really all I can say is I'm gonna miss it. I never got to be a part of it. I was, hoping, like, I remember when they started doing SourceFed Live, and the DeFranco does like they did DeFranco Does Austin and whatnot. I'm like, man, I can't wait till they come like to somewhere near me. And he went to Austin like right after I moved away from San Antonio for a job, and just like and I'm like, oh man, one of these days I'm gonna make it out to VidCon, and I'm gonna meet everybody, and that's never gonna happen. Like I used to always tell myself there will be another con, and wow. Hey, like I said, this was a thing I just thought was gonna be immortal. Yeah, like I lost sleep over it. It still hasn't quite sunken in that like next week I'm like, I gotta find other places to go get my nerd news, because SourceFed Nerd was the primary source of this. This is just this amazing thing, and yeah, I follow other channels that do it. Like I follow Mod and her Geek Bomb, and it's just it's gonna be weird to me, because SourceFed has been a part of my routine since like a time in college that was actually really rough for me, and SourceFed was very uplifting for that in that time for me. So it's so weird to see it gone, but I follow a lot of creators on it, and the editors and producers, and I don't follow all of them. Like I already said, I don't like accidentally sliding down rabbit holes, so I tend to be selective, but whew, it'll be interesting. I can't wait to see what everyone does. I'm gonna miss them all. Like I said, Philip and Whitney have really grown on me. Sam's been my favorite host for the longest time. Yeah. Good luck to you all, man. I guess, I guess now there's a new corner of the market I can jump in on. There's a nice little void there I can jump in. So maybe I'll finally start making videos like I've told myself for years that I will. But yeah. Good luck to you all.